Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to Breath of Fire 2 and talking about books. I guess that's what we're doing. How's it going? Heyo Arc! It is Allen time, whether you like it or not. And we might actually get more than 2 hours of stream time today, unlike yesterday. But we'll see how it works out. I cannot find any ibuprofen. I may have found my painkillers actually. Just now glancing over there. They're in the wrong spot. My desk is a mess. Doing God's work? Are you? How much progress are you making in Dragon Quarter? Because I assume that's what you're talking about. Let me adjust my mic a little. I think that's better. I'm trying to think if there's anything new in the news that I need to announce at this very moment, and I can't think of anything. So let's get into the game. Christmas, I'm getting my friends one of those emulation machines for the TV, a few wireless controllers. One of them is a big JRPG fan. Using it as an opportunity to bully him into playing Breath of Fire 3. That's some God's work. That is correct. I'm not the biggest fan of Breath of Fire 3 in particular, and a big part of that is because it was the last one that I played. But I would still say that if you haven't played any of the Breath of Fire games, 3 is probably the best starting point. Always a good idea to bully people into the series. Favored by a wide margin. For sounds extremely good. Yeah. 3 is the most approachable entry. It really is, isn't it? Pacing issues. Yeah, we have been over that once or so before. Let's see. Do we have game audio? We do. The menu is completely quiet. Let's turn off the Chrono Trigger music and get into whatever we were doing. So I did a little bit of off-stream grinding. So all of the party is now level 38, except for Ryu, of course. And we haven't gotten Blue or D's as a party member yet. I should probably just go out of my way and get her first. So I noticed something. While I was grinding. I may have missed a story progress trigger when I last did this playthrough on vanilla, and I was scraping for text. So we haven't been to High Fort yet, and in vanilla I could not find an opportunity for Whoopi Goldberg to have like have a fortune read that pertains to anything other than Patty. Like, for the longest time, Whoopi was talking about Patty. Now she's talking about the general. We don't know about the general. General being Shupke in High Fort. This is still a pretty useless fortune. But in vanilla, I could only get that fortune read like after after the High Forge segment was done. Actually, if I'm blue without a guide, if you can ever believe that, I can believe that. Did you know? Surely you didn't do this, but did you know that if you recruit Watt and you solve all of his riddles, he will give you a hint as to how to find Blue. That's his use. That's his utility. Wow, incredible. I most definitely did not stumble upon Blue without learning about her on the internet. I think I mentioned that last stream, yeah, probably. That's not how I did it. I was a little kid, playing friends coffee with him, just having fun, talking to people, and suddenly Snake Lady, yay! Yeah, let's go grab ourselves the Snake Lady, huh? Let's do that. Let's walk over to this weird little crop circle in the desert. Lady D's in. Be kind enough to leave a message, make it back to you sometime next century. Are her stats bugged in the GBA version? I don't know. I assume they work the same. Has Lady D's hit on you yet? That's a bit different from just calling her irresponsible. I'm getting annoyed all over again by the fan translation's choice to change hometown to New Haven. Because I got Vonnegut on the brain. Because my timeline was getting all sorts of Slaughterhouse 5 quotes on it for some reason. Makes me want to stab my ears out. Who is writing this? Full-on gag me with a spoon territory. Hey, Ted. One-time co-savior of the world. Why are we making her more braggadocious? I gotta look up the comparison. What exactly does she say? Under normal circumstances, when would I have recruited her in my casual playthrough? Would have been part of. When? Where? I must have gotten her at some point. I have hundreds, thousands of screenshots to go through. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so in the original, she says, "It bothers me to be told by someone else." Okay, so you punched that up to the stabbing of ears. I think it would be better to get it back by using my own gut instinct. Change that to going back and doing the fighting. Do you guys need anyone? Someone that's really good? Yeah, there's a bit of a difference between someone that's really good and once co-savior of the world. Legendary magician, yeah. Subtleties, nuances. What are you gonna do? Well, let's give it over to the house and see what the dialogue update is like. Then once that is all over, maybe we'll talk about Earthsea for a bit. Because I have some notes about Earthsea. Have you ever read Earthsea? I assume that nobody within the sound of my voice has read any Earthsea. I'm referring specifically to the first book, A Wizard of Earthsea. Legendary Servant Lady Deez has a crush on you? Where's the idea of a... I was like, what's Earthsea? Yeah, you know. The accent will do that. Haven't read it? Well, if you ever feel like reading books aimed at like 10 to 14-year-olds, it's pretty alright. Is that what? What does Sten say in the original? The legendary snake woman. You even have the great blue falling for you. You're really something, boss. Yeah, this localization is really trying so hard to punch it up more. Barely enough room for me and my radiant majesty. Oh, come on. Come off it. In the original, she says, "Aha! What a dirty house. Well, I'll stay for a little while, for Ryu's sake." Significantly toned down in the original. My longevity is matched only by the electric Gandalf. Let's. Is that a? Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did I recruit Blue before Spar had joined the party? In my playthrough. In my vanilla playthrough. Oh dear. Oh dear. So then I never got got these text boxes. I don't have a point of comparison. Shoot. Hello, Shion. How's it going? Are you ready for book club? Hellfire and Brimstone. Always, I really feel like they are mischaracterizing D's. Like, yeah, she dreams about Ryu and giggles if you put her on the back burner, but I feel like they're extrapolating a lot. Yep, that's right. Très bien. Can't read? A likely story. Nina seemed fine. Oh, come on. Cat does not talk about her chest. In the original, she simply says, "Some men find me attractive. Ryu, you too?" Nothing about hot coals and broken glass. Nothing about her boobs. Come on. Alright, give me back the party that I want to have. Rand, Sten, Spar. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. Okay, now let's not make any progress. Let's instead talk about Earthsea. Because I was reading that first book, and it really struck me how much of it, like, I could see some echo of it, or like, oh, this reminds me of something in a Breath of Fire game. Like, constant little aha moments, and like, wait a minute. But let's start from the beginning. Let's get back to the premise of Earthsea, and maybe also talking about the differences all about it. So, in the world of Earthsea, there's basically a giant archipelago, and like there aren't a lot of there's not like proper continents really. There's some bigger islands and a bunch of smaller islands, and spread out in different ways. So it's very much a seafaring peoples in all of that world, and that is like immediately the biggest contrast to the Breath of Fire series, because one thing that I always found strangely absent in Breath of Fire 2 is like there's no harbors. There's no boats and ships. There's like you have that teeny tiny little boat that Petape breaks that just goes within the Simafort Lake. And there's the one that takes you from Capitan over to the forest to get to Simafort. But like, that's kind of it. Like, you would think that there would be some like, how does Gunt become industrious without any means of shipping out its metal stuff? How does Toonland survive out on that little island? Like, how do people get around? Where are the ships? But in Earthsea, it's all water. Everybody be boating. Have boat lands going around, dealing with the stuff. The other major thing is how magic works in Earthsea, which is that it's about the spoken word in a lot of ways. Like, you may need to have some inherent power, but the way to like channel that power is to like actually know the words of the spell, or not so much perhaps the spell as it were, but like you need to know the true word for whatever object or concept that you're trying to manipulate. So if you're some kind of weather worker, so you can get on a ship and make sure that you have a mage wind blowing so that the ship stays on course and gets where it's supposed to. And you need to know the right words to call upon the wind. The true words from the old tongue that's that people don't speak anymore, but it's just lost to time and ancient creatures and what have you. And a lore. But generally speaking, magic also doesn't work as well over water as it does on land. Seems to be a thing. Now, you might be wondering, how does any of this tie into Breath of Fire 2 at all then? Like, why am I reading it? Where is the reference? Excuse me. So, once we go and get started with the High Fort section of the game, we'll find that the princess of High Fort, her name is Elfaron, which in Earthsea is the name of a fabled beautiful queen who lived 1,000 years before the start of the story. So, yeah, okay. And I thought that was all there was to it, and I didn't really think that I needed to look closer to the books just based on that. That's just some deep cut lore, just vague reference, like has a historical character from one work possibly have any merits on anything. Well, the other reference from the same source is that after High Fort, when we go here as part of the Tunlan quest, here we are supposed to meet with this magician over here with the blue robes. We have no reason or means to speak with him yet, but as you can see, his name is Ged. And Ged turns out to be the true name of the protagonist of A Wizard of Earthsea. Yeah, it's not the name he is born with. That name is Dooney. And it's not the name that most people use for him. That's Sparrowhawk. But the true name of the protagonist is Ged. Now, as you can see, this Ged, based on the hiccuping, appears to have been made into a drunk in the fan translation, and always was a womanizer. I don't see a lot of the character from Earthsea in this guy, but he got the name. So what is Ged like in A Wizard of Earthsea? Well, there's a few things of note. First of all, he is born in a place called Gaunt, which is an island with like one single mountain in the Northeast Sea. I can't help but feel like that kind of describes where we are right now with Mount Maori. It's called in the original. Yeah, Mount Maori. Like, this is an island. It has a mountain. Yeah, it might have like two here, according to those little sprites, but look, one mountain. And it's pretty dang northeast as far as this world map is concerned. And also about all this is that, yep, it's called Gaunt. I can't help but feel like there's a similarity between Gaunt and Gunt. Remember that Gunt was called Gant in Breath of Fire 1. So, there may or may not have been an Earthsea reference as far as back there. it's a little harder to say that an industrial place like this would be a reference to Gaunt specifically in the way that it looks and it works. However, Ged the Sparrowhawk, his father, is a smith. He had to do some weapon and armor smithing at one point in the early chapters. And here's a place where you can get some of the best weapons and armor in the game. If not in the game, then at least for a long while. Excuse me. So, we have these connections. These more literal connections, I suppose. But then, thematically, what happens in Earthsea that I want to talk about that makes the stuff interesting? Because just having the names of fairly similar locations, that doesn't have to mean anything. That doesn't have to amount to a whole heck of a lot. But one thing that I only realized, like, just today, is about how Ged learns his magic. Like, yes, he has some inherent power. But, like, at first he is taught some stuff by his aunt, who is the village witch. And then later he gets tutored by Ogion. Ogion is some kind of mage on the island, and Ogion gets him a letter of introduction to go to the magic school in Roke. Magic school, like the one in hometown. And after he graduates from there, he will still go back to Ogion for a little bit, at least, without going into all of the details there. So, all of that kind of brings to mind, to me, the master system that's in Breath of Fire 3 and 4. You gotta learn from people. Maybe that's a very basic idea, that the influence could have come from anywhere, but I don't know, the author of Earthsea is Ursula Le Guin, and in Breath of Fire 4 you have a party member literally named Ursula, and also the other things that I'm gonna say. The major Breath of Fire 2 connection in Earthsea is I've been burying the lead. Let's get to it. So, while at magic school, Ged, his pride gets the best of him, and he wants to show off to Jasper, who is this rival, braggart, douche type of character, and basically Ged tries to summon Elfaron from the dead. But in opening this portal, in opening the thing, the barrier between life and death, or what have you, he unleashes a shapeless clot of shadow, darker than darkness, which attacks him, and it's really bad. And I guess it gets chased off by the other high mages of the magic school, but then it's still like hunting Ged, and it comes to him in his dreams. So that's like that's just so extremely Breath of Fire 2 right there. The nightmares about the trauma, the constant nightmares, the middle eye of Barberry opening and speaking threatening nonsense. It's like it's right there. It's right there, and the shapelessness. It's very much just how, like, what we're learning about Death Evan at the end of the game. Like, they couldn't, the Dragon Clan couldn't deal with the problem because it didn't have a shape. And this shadow, it has the ability to create something called a Gebeth. A Gebeth is when they take a person and kind of possess them or take over their mind and transform them in some way, which is kind of what's been happening with the villains of this game so far. Like, August gets transformed into the big two-headed wolfman. Quadra, the imposter, he turns into that big reptile demon. Trout turns into that big snake frog thing. Joker also turns into a big fat demon. Like, they were all like possessed and transforming, and the source of their power and transformation was always the same Death Evan. So I don't think that the characters, the villains in this game are exactly Gebeth, because the Gebeth that we see in this book, it's it's more like a possession, more of a character being taken over, whereas in this game it's more that it seems more to me that August and Joker and everybody, that they are going along with it willingly, because it serves their interests. I didn't really get that same sense as much of them being in control and like fully on board with all the evil. But speaking of transformations, in chapter, I believe, 5, Ged does transform into a dragon. Yep. Ged does transform into a dragon. So there's not a lot of dragons in Earthsea, but apparently there is one old dragon who has had a clutch of 8 or 9 dragon babies, and they were or would have become a problem for the people living on a nearby island. So Ged went out there and he slew a few of the dragon whelps, and one of the ways in which he fought them was with some combination of illusion magic and whatever else. But by some means he did temporarily transform into a dragon. Illusion. Thank you, Strong Sad. But yeah, so to recap, we have dragon transformations. We have a shapeless cloud of shadow that gives the protagonists recurring nightmares, or like a psychic connection between protagonist and antagonist. We have the source of evil taking over people, and then there's the minor things of the place names, magic schools, minor things like the idea of the magic school having an imminent grove, which is like a place of forest that you can't enter into, and some concept of information being stored in the trees. A little bit of what we're gonna do with old Gandaruth. And now I'm gonna spoil the ending of A Wizard of Earthsea, because there something happens there that I would compare to stuff in Breath of Fire 2, 3, and 4. But basically, turns out you were the Earthsea the whole time. No, not quite. But what happens is that Ged and his best buddy Vetch, they go chasing after this shadow. They roll a reversal. They're gonna face the darkness head on, and to do that, they go sailing off the map, off to lands unknown, which to me that seems a lot like what happens in Breath of Fire 3 once you get on board that abandoned ship, as it were. And they go out to meet the shadow off in lands unknown, and they kind of just come across a place of empty sand, which also just strengthens the Breath of Fire 3 connection there. Like, kind of come to kind of just come to a desert there. And there in that desert, there you have the one-on-one fight between Ged Sparrowhawk and the Shadow, who very much just takes on the shape of things from Ged's memories before it settles on taking on Ged's shape entirely. And the way that the Shadow is ultimately defeated is by them like essentially reaching out to each other and like at the same time using the right magic word in unison. They name each other Ged. It's like a fusion of the light and the dark. The only way to drive out the complete dark the whole time. It's like Ryu and Faolu. Or it's like Ryu 2 and Baruberry facing off. Like brave men. And I just think it's fascinating that there's so many of these elements. In just one short book. It's only like 100 pages long. 120 or something. And there's like so much of this. So much of this Breath of Fire DNA in it. Like I didn't expect to see things passed down to 3 separate games, but and that's just the first book. There were at least 2, maybe 3 more books out at the time that Breath of Fire 2 came out. So I would expect that there is more stuff to learn from reading the sequels still. So I'm gonna start doing that one of these days. Well, now that I've gotten that mostly out of my system, let's go to High Fort. I haven't been to High Fort, have I? No, we have to actually walk there. No warping. Ark, I'm not letting you off the hook still, though. You gotta get back in there and do the Dragon Quarter. I want the progress reports. Eventually, you're contending with a new waifu game that drops tonight? Waifu game? Dropping on a Monday night? What? I rarely know what you're talking about. Tuesday morning in China? Is it another Zoneless Zone Zero? You'll need that Master Flute. Here we go. Who goes there? That seems fun. All the citizens of Highland Manor, just turn around and forget you ever saw this place. That? Forget you ever saw this place. That seems... seems drastic. Let's see that I have the points of comparison here. You get... Duet Night of Bez. Remove the daily stamina and gotcha system from the betas. Huh. Character characters are freely, no limited time characters. Want to check it out on merit that they're moving away from predatory systems. Yep, okay. That's fine. That's fine then. Oh my god. I don't think that in 92, 94 you could have gotten away with a line like this. It might be seen as blasphemous. Commander Stan, we all thought you were dead. Disagree, the end of Breath of the Wild 2 speaks heavily about God. Yeah, but the specific phrasing of oh my god is one that I don't think is there. Guffheim. Yeah, you can't call it Goonheim no more. Like, oh my god is like the example in people's minds of using the Lord's name in vain. Rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Waka waka waka. Excuse me. Twitch has done something about its notifications. Like, you get so much like spam about, oh, make some clips, oh, get these stream element sponsorships, oh, view streaks, oh, you have 32 and 185 different notifications, except no, there's not. I can't even find all of them, and I don't know which one you're pinging me about. Anyway, rumors of my dad. This is... Is this a Mark Twain, or is this just one of many quotes that get attributed to Mark Twain because because you don't know who else to assign it to. Let's see. TV Trope says, named after a statement that Mark Twain didn't actually say, kind of. Okay. But yeah, I don't think that this is a Mark Twain reference necessarily. It just feels like I don't know where this comes from. I'm sure that there's some piece of media that has popularized this particular phrase, and I don't know what it is. Well, in the past, you're back with us, Commander. Maybe a hero's welcome. Would assume Princess Bride? It sounds like a Princess Bride quote. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. No, not quite. Okay, but, let's see. Jackie Chan Adventures. Shendu says, reports of my demise have been greatly exaggerated, Chan. What else is here? There's gotta be a better source for quotes like this than TV tropes. My god. Also, I do not like this line. Turvo is the real hero of Guffheim. Guffheim? Goofheim? Why can't you say Goonheim? Guffheim. Like, from the F to the H feels a little awkward. Like, Goonheim rolls better off than Guffheim. Just in terms of the motion that your mouth has to go through. But also, why Turvo? Why not Trubo? Let's see. Turvo P in the end credits. So okay, so it's aligning itself with the end credits. Can we fact check the Japanese and let's see what it sounds like.
Turbo.
Yeah, that's just turbo.
Turbo.
Like, just call him Turbo. Like, if Turbo is wrong, then yeah. Turbo sounds better than Turvo. Either way, I don't like the E at the end of it. But I guess it's aligning with the credits, so what can I do? So Turbo will get a kick out of seeing you again, huh? I must decline. What do you mean you must decline? Original, he says... In the original, it was specifically that Trubo has been looking forward to seeing you, rather than an abstractly he would get a kick out of it. And instead of reacting, that's impossible. Trubo could not have been looking forward to it. Weird. Open up those old wounds, bud boy. General Spuke. Oh boy. It's no longer Shupke. That it's Spuke. Spuke. I don't... Okay, Spuke F in the end credits. Okay, so again, the spelling is aligning with what was in the credits. Why use that as the authoritative source? Let's hear this.
Shupuke.
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 Okay. Shupuke. Yeah, Schupke is a German surname, okay? Is that relevant, Wiki? I don't know. Regardless, I'm willing to say that spelling it as Spuke is just wrong. No matter what the credits say. Got the personality of a battering ram. Yep. Yep. It's so easy to tell when it's an embellishment by the localization. Moving on. Anything else? Get your ass kicked. Again. That's not even particularly clever. That's just... Right, Spuke. That was division. Okay. Throwing swords in kids' hands, telling them to fight. Up to this point, this very much resemble the original script. This is slightly polished, I suppose. How much did she threaten them in the original? The amount of threats she made to them is none at all. In the original, she says, "Silence, I'll hear no more excuses, move according to schedule at any cost. I will not allow you to talk back to me. You, soldier, all you have to do is fight as I say." No threats of skulls being slung, no threats of dungeons. Translator going out of their way to really amp her up. Everybody just saying one exclamation point is still honestly really weird. In the original, everybody at least said, "Oh." I don't know. Who are you calling unsavory? Oh, you were able. Is it okay to have this abbreviation here? I guess it's Soldiers Talking Shop. Anything else? Remember last time I was here and I didn't have any equipment or any levels? And now I have a full inventory because I've been grinding, so enemies have been dropping these restoratives. Did not realize I had a completely full inventory. Why do I have all the coins with me? What the heck? We already have a better knife. Let's discard some of these, make some room. Could be faster, but... don't need to be no faster. Let's store the coins. And this, and that, and this, and that. The other equipment I can sell. I can store some of the restoratives instead of just junking them. Again, when we have an instance of damn, I must remind you that that line had to be changed for digital re-releases to darn. I don't know if had to, but they were changed. Where the hell have you been? Oh. I don't remember Trubo being this foul-mouthed. Well, despite it being evening time, the battle background doesn't change to update to the world state. So I reckon it's in my best interest to just dodge for this first part here so that we can keep the shaman form. Ooh, double dodge. That's a crit. Guess I should have healed there. Put you down as killed in action. He is so foul-mouthed. What's the worst thing that Trubo says in the original? Does he call Sten like a fat pig? Okay, let's see. In the original, in terms of insults and profanity, Trubo says, "You sissy monkey." And he says, "I'll make you pay." It also says, "Worthless monkey," and yeah, "fat pig." Fat pig is like the harshest thing he says because it's in red. So last time I was here, I had to level up to be fast enough to use Fire Blast on him twice. Now I've leveled up to where I have Missile. Flashing lights warning, sorry. Sploosh. Are you alright? We need to make more comparisons to the original. But yeah, Sten waking Trubo up, he says, "Take courage, Trubo." And for some reason, that phrasing is stuck with me. Take courage, like it were something, like it were a tangible object or something you could grasp. It sounds a little more profound than just, "Are you alright?" Which sounds too casual and indifferent. Rumble Raiders? Rumble Raiders? Rendezvous later. Perfect. Get out of here. So there's something in the original script that I noticed when I was looking at how much or little profanity he was spouting. I need to check all my screenshots just now. So on the bridge. Yeah, so on the bridge, when Sten quote-unquote apologized to Turbo just now, Sten said, "Guilty as charged, I suppose. I've been running ever since that day. I knew I couldn't face you, Turbo. That's why I never came back." It's an explanation, not an apology, I suppose. Turbo responds, "That's no excuse for the crap you've pulled. You didn't just run out on me, you ran out on the princess too." And then... And I'm not through yet, not by a long shot. Won't forgive the man the princess put her trust in. The man she gave her love to, and she could have picked me instead. Like, there's a lot of personal hurt feelings in Turbo here in the fan translation. But there is one particular line. Like, the same thing. Let's compare the same thing in the original. In the original, Sten says, "You're exactly right. Since then, I've done nothing but run. That's why I couldn't come back here. I just couldn't face you." Turbo responds, "I don't care about me. What I can't forgive is the way you left the princess and disappeared." Like, there isn't as much of a personal grudge here. Like, his feelings are more complex in the original. He's not mad for what was done to him, but what was done to the princess. Whereas in fan translation, he is mad for what was done to him and to the princess. I feel like that's an important distinction. Well, maybe not important, but it is a distinction. And what is the benefit of making that change? Like, what does Turbo need to be more more hot-headed, more personally insulted, etc., etc. Dang it, I thought I knew what I was doing today. That I wasn't gonna go into all the wrong corridors. I could have just cast Flame, right? Surely I could have just beaten this thing with some magic damage. Lair. Yeah. Because I need those 51 zennies. Was there anything over here? How are there so many goo champs? Oh, nothing. Still nothing. No, we're going down all the wrong paths. We gotta rule them out, you know. You know, in the unlikely event that I get slammed or something, don't want to lose the shaman form, so just use one of the way too many restoratives. Oh, that didn't kill. So without a crit, that it might be a 3-shot. I'm not actually sure how big the crit multiplier is. Look, there's Elfaron. Do not aid tyrants or attack the defense. In the words of my friend Turbo, ugh. That is so lame. Like, you could have at least had a line about a monkey given a spanking, so you could be like a little risque, but also staying in line with the original. Because yeah, in the original, Sten does say this monkey's going to give you a spanking, Shupke. Which, it's both a little silly, which lends itself more to Sten's overall personality as we've seen throughout the game. Yeah, maybe wah is more appropriate than the original's wow. Yeehaw! Well, there is that silliness that he didn't have a moment ago. Can't you see this all been part of my cunning plan? Good job, Rand. Also, I need to check whether that weapon is better for him. I feel like it might be, yeah. Not by a lot, but by a little. Larva Crawler. Or as the original called them, Raluba. Yeah, these guys were way mistranslated originally. I'm not used to seeing Spar go before Ryu. Is Ryu just wearing some especially heavy equipment? I guess so. Or is... Maybe I just don't use the water shaman on Spar all that much. Prefer the original look of Spar. That reminds me, I did find one line of dialogue when I was grinding off stream that I took a picture of. Like around the time that Spar joins, or the party still talking about Spar over in the house in Township. I guess Nina had different dialogue based on whether she's in her room or down with the party. guess I just didn't check before, didn't take pictures of it, but Nina did refer to Spar as a he. So I thought maybe this translation was trying to be coy, trying to avoid pronouns. But no, both translations call Spar a he. Now, I don't remember Nina using a pronoun in the original. I just remember Rand. I'm under the impression that pronouns work differently, or there might be others more in the Japanese. I'd be curious if there was anything else going on with those particular lines. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna stick to calling Spar a he. And if he is not correct, then she is definitely also not correct. The only place that calls Spar a she is the artwork. I wouldn't go by that one. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna go today. It was my intention to do more than 2 hours of stream, but I reckon I'm gonna beat High Fort, then I'm gonna take a break, and then we'll see. We'll see if we also deal with all of the Tunlin and the Gid business. So what else is going on? off stream, I played a video game called Off. OFF, all caps. I finished that game, I got all the achievements, and I'm very careful about my phrasing because I don't want to just say I beat Off, like haha, making a sex joke. But I played a game, completed a game. The game is called Off. And I kind of hated it. And, don't know how much I want to talk about it, but I mean, I brought it up, so if anybody else has played it and wants to fight me about my opinion, then go right ahead. Well, password access denied, possible intruder detected. Okay, wait, yeah. This boss has some weird line once you beat it, I suppose. So, a great thing about Spar going before Ryu, the Spar already has the attack up spell. Also, look at that little spell cast. And that's the Malord emote. Since you can't hurt this guy with magic damage. Attack up is the way to go. 551. Oh my goodness. Ooh, and the dodge. Yeah, that sped things up. Okay. Error code 42. There was something about error code 42. Is it just a Douglas Adams reference? It's some kind of reference that the fan translator shoved in there. I mean, I suppose it's subtle enough. It's just a 2-digit number. Don't have to make a big deal out of it, but I mean, it was put in for a reason, and I don't know if the reason was good. I'll bust these controls up good. What? He's like implying right out the gate that bust them up good. What? Why? Like, okay, what does he say in the original? Okay, I guess he does say, I'll destroy the control. Never mind then. It's just weird. Let's back up. This is the control room. If we can destroy the control room, we can keep the castle from turning into a weapon. For some reason, I had it in my mind, based on the scene that you see later, that the idea was to initiate a self-destruct sequence or bring about the destruction by, you know, operating the controls as designed, rather than just using brute force. But I guess he does say he's gonna destroy the control in the original, so never mind. I have no complaint to lodge there. I should have just ran away. 3 attacks to beat up the one guy for that little experience. Like, not worth it. Why are the diamonds of the world to fall to your twisted ambitions? Didn't Spuke just... What did she just say? What did she literally just say? She said, any last requests? Any last request sounds like she's being executed. Like the princess is being executed. But, and then the rebuttal is, I would rather die. But like, she's... You're making it seem like she's going to die anyway. That rebuttal doesn't work then. And here, why does the fan translation go with El Farallon? Do you not know the reference? In the credits, it's Herfaron with an H in front of it. That is definitely wrong. Very wrong. The original script was Elforon, which seems more accurate to me. But like, if we know that this is an Earthsea reference, then we should go with the Earthsea spelling.
Elfaran.
So in the Japanese, that's how it's spelled.
Elfaran.
Herufaran. I guess Google Translate turns that into Elfarlan. But why? Like the whole LR thing, that's just weird. I can only assume that the translator here did not know the reference. But at the same time, I don't know that I would expect the original translator to know the reference, and it still didn't throw an additional L in there. First corpse on the meat grinder. Boy, oh boy. Oh no, she turned into a Gebeth. That's not really how that works. Is that how any of that works? Don't you do it. Action failed, thank goodness. So because Ryu had leveled up at some point in this dungeon, that dragon magic didn't do the full amount of damage. But that's fine. 2 turns is all we need. Flying Fortress. Infernal energy shields. Never tires? Like, what are you referring to? She has not used an energy shield before. I don't think the magically locked door counts. Flush. Total frickin' moron proof. Like, holy crap! It's very obvious. It's very obvious that this translator is a Homestar pilled, like complete strong bad brain right here. Like I can just hear the strong bad on this line. So much profanity, so much strong bad. Been an eventful evening over at Highfort. As you know, famously, explosions cut towers in half, like swords slicing through bamboo. It's so funny with the scene that there's a staircase right there. You could just go with the stairs. This is a weird text box. Quotation, ellipses. Like, this looks like it's out of the original translation. Like, just a text box of only punctuation. Owning Castle ought to be peanuts. Well. The Master's Flute. Take care of yourself and someday come home. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. In the original... please tell him this. Take care of yourself, don't overdo it, and I hope that someday. So in the original, there is this linguistic rule of threes. This, and this. Take care of yourself, don't overdo it, and I hope that someday she is unable to finish that thought. She has these unresolved feelings that she can't express and wouldn't express to these people necessarily. Why does the fan translation omit "don't overdo it"? And why bluntly spell it out right that... Why outright state her desires that go unspoken in the original? Why? Leaving some of these things unsaid so that you can just infer them and understand, forces you to engage with the characters in like in a more active, intellectual way. You have to think about it. You have to internalize what's going on. If you just state all the desires bluntly, then the player can just take everything at face value and not think, and not engage, and not care. It's not a good change. You say anything different if I go back? Nope. Nothing different. They all see that line. Oh. Else? Nope, they all just say that. No matter where they're standing. Okay, we have another instance of just an ellipses. Like I get the point of them. Yeah, you wanna pace the dialogue. You wanna. No. It for some reason just looks more weird here. Is it the font? Is it because it's a smaller font, therefore more of the text box is just empty? I do think that's part of it. That is definitely part of it. Yeah. Okay. So what you're seeing here, if you look at the text, the name Turvo and the colon, they are all to the left of Ryu. They are all the way over to the left side of the screen there. They don't reach the position of any of the characters. Whereas in the original, the text boxes are actually smaller. The text box doesn't fill the whole screen width. So that's one aspect right away that keeps it more centered. And then the name Trubo, and then the quotation mark, and then 4 dots. So the O in Trubo and the last dot, they line up with the vertical line of kind of the middle of Rand's arm. Like, it's way more centered. I think that is why these text boxes with ellipses just look so dumb to me. Like it's just too much empty. It's just too much empty. Just no good at dying, it seems. This does not hit as hard. Like, in the original, one of the honestly most iconic lines, Sten says, "Yeah, I failed to die again." Like, the implication that he wanted to die. That would have been the best outcome, given all of his trauma and everything, and wanting to make that heroic sacrifice to solidify his legacy so he can be a real hero. Instead, he has to keep living and suffering and dealing with all this. Ullman, Johann, Sellner. These are the same names as in the original, but they are all spelled differently. And none of them are listed on the wiki. So I don't know if these names are references to anything or anyone. These names are a mystery to me. Like, because this game loves to make every name have some sort of significance and tie it to a reference to something or another. But I don't know about these. What would... Maybe that's something I should research. Maybe that's my next Breath of Fire 2 video idea. Yeah. Let's make so many Breath of Fire 2 videos. Let's try and make a YouTube channel out of just Breath of Fire 2 content. First I make the mega video talking about like story analysis in total. Then I make one video about how the fan translation is bad, and then I make a video researching who these guys are, what the reference here is. It'd be the premier Breath of Fire 2 guy. Yeah, so somebody's got to do it. I mean, nobody's gonna watch it, but somebody's got to do it. I don't know, man. That's... It does... At least the research part is tickling my brain in a good way. I don't know about the creative part, about making something and sharing my discoveries, how much that matters in comparison to the brain tickle I get. But we'll see. Stop with the jackass monkey. Stop with the kick your ass. So many singular ellipses. Well, that was the high fort segment. Well, it's gonna be break time. Couple of things we need to do right immediately after for all of us, though. And by right immediately, I mean right immediately after I take my break and run some ads. So let's have ourselves a break. Okay. Give me a few minutes. Alright, let's get back to it. We have a few orders of business. First, let's see if the dialogue here updated or if they're all still just talking about D's. Okay, it's updated. I don't think I'm gonna be scrubbing so thoroughly through all the dialogue permutations of... I don't think a lot of them are gonna say something different depending on whether they're in the party or in the room. Inside your class. If you were about it. All right, so let's take the ladies down. Because D's needs to be down to say something. So just say something. Wait, machine converts human emotion to energy. Why does that sound familiar to Nina? Why does that sound familiar to Nina? Okay, in the original, she did say, wasn't there something like that somewhere? I don't know why this line is here. Because we haven't dealt with anything like that in the story yet. I don't think that's all that similar to what's going on in Windia, and whether or not Nina knows all about that. Anyway. So we want to be continuing. We still need Sten for progression reasons. I'll take D's so that she can catch up and maybe cast Warp to help us get around. And I was gonna say I'm gonna take Rand and stick with Rand as my healer, etc, etc, etc. Is Lynn Cat? Yes. Something, 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 Dragon Quarter. Needs more spar? I just used spar in the last dungeon. I don't know that I want to use... I don't know that I want to be using that much of exactly the same the whole time. Spar is my favorite. Yeah, And you are right to feel that way. Spar is also my fave, but I want to take one of the healers with me. Spar is a good healer with the cure too, but we get better cures on Rand and Bosch, and I'm taking Bosch just for a little bit of variety. Oh yeah, and I need to get some equipment for her. She just joined the party. She's gonna be wearing just complete garbage, isn't she? Okay, at least you have warp on your starting set. Put all my money in the bank. Pull the money out of the bank. And see if I can spend it anywhere. Where am I? Too far south, that's where I am. Yes, hello, I would like my Zenny back, please. You get a band, place of the glove. Melodia, also known as Toonland. This is the place where the story is taking us next anyway. Tell me the shops are open and accessible. That's good. She gets the breath armor. Red Scarf's worse than Circlet. That's all she can get from here. She needs a weapon though, right? Warlock Ring could stand to be improved upon. Maybe the Circlet isn't so bad if that's the helmet that Ryu is currently using. Who would tell me a better ring? I think I might have to go back to Sema for it. Oh yeah, one other important thing. Oh no, Did this guy just upgrade his stock? I feel like he might have had a few more things before. Or is that what he... No, he doesn't change his stock, does he? It's just Beretta that changes things up, right? But these can't use anything from either of these shoppas? That's real sad, actually. Anyway, what say we go get ourselves our last pennant and fill up the last vacant slot in our town? Oh, look. It's Farland. See that painter did that makes your town ugly? No room for him anymore, I'm afraid. Our town is full. I quite liked a locker who loves the smell of paint. Changing the colors of your houses, having a little customization, like, neat. Have a little distinction. Oh, there. These main problems become deadly serious. Ignominious. Rumble. Okay. Old bastard Ged spent half his time piss drunk. I don't think you could say piss drunk. Not necessarily chasing skirts. In the early 90s in a video game. Also, I don't know that Ged from Earthsea is anything like this. Not in the first book, he isn't. Still want a better weapon for these. No? Gotta go back all the way to Windia? Windia even gonna have a better mage weapon? Better ring? You actually start with the best generally purchasable ring. This really goes to show how little I actually use blue in my casual playthroughs. my regular playthroughs. Also my randomizers. I don't use her in randomizers because she gets, in my experience, broken. Mage rank. No, that's worse. Okay. So that's just worse than okay. Cool. You know what? I think I'm interested to see all the different variations of how Ged is going to interact. Because I just realized that he's not gonna... In the original, Ged does not recognize blue as a desirable woman. And you have to bring Nina or Cat or the shamanized Spar over here for story progression. And let's just confirm that that this is unchanged. Yep, unchanged. D's confirmed, not a pretty lady. Womp womp. Why don't I just do it from hometown, the dragon statue? Isn't that just gonna be a little faster? A little less travel time. Okay, so let's take Nina first. And I'm gonna make a save state there. Tell me that I made a save state. I did make a save state, and I can load the save state. Beautiful. So I don't imagine that the get interaction is gonna be particularly different from the original text. But maybe you never know when you're gonna run into a bit of different characterization or more excessive profanity or... What the heck was that? Did you just see the screen glitch out for a moment? Alright, that's gross. I'm pretty sure he doesn't sniff the ladies in the original. That's no good. Yeah, no, this complete fabrication. One famous services of the Diet Wizard. Queen of Melodia. Did say Melodia, did you not? Place that hateful woman had me exiled from. I'm going back to Melodia. You hear me? Okay, so Nina took a step forward. So this is about where the paths branch off, and there's going to be different dialogue depending on who you send in there. This is my understanding. Ellipses, exclamation point. Again, very very much in line with the original of too much punctuation. Cute when you're murderously enraged. Here we go. Yeah, this is the stuff I was looking for. In the original. In the original, there's also a bunch of dots and an exclamation point, and then Ged says, "Oh, you're blushing, you're so cute. I could never hurt a nice girl like you." Because Nina is shy. She's bashful. She is not this rage machine that the fan translation makes her out to be. Like, what the hell? Alright, so that's Nina. Nina gets changed from blushing to being murderously angry. Oh yeah, the overall music changed. Or the battle music, rather. Did that actually just happen? This was not the battle music while we were in Highford, was it? Alright, Lynn, do your thing. Yeah, screen glitches out every time. Yep. Again with the sniffing. Died wizards, died magics. Queen of Melodia. Okay, so after it'll be spectacular. Here's where the change should come in. Yep. No, stop. Can't you girls take a joke? I get the hint already. I'll go to Melody, no questions asked. Just get that stick away from me. Is this different? This is not different. Like, why change Nina to Murderous Rage when you already had Cat who does the aggressive thing? Like, it makes no sense to change Nina's characterization. And finally, the spar variation. There wasn't really a lot to the spar interaction in the original. Okay, so spar already takes some steps. But the dialogue isn't gonna change until after this part. Oh my god. I'm sorry, we're gonna need to make a comparison to the original. Yeah, so the forgettable spar interaction in the original is just Ged says, "You're really pretty. Don't worry, I'm not going to bother you." I did not get any implication such as this. Afraid you're not my type. I was only kidding in the first place. What? 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 Somebody please explain what just happened. Is underage euphemism for trans? Is that why he says spar is not his type? What is happening? Get me out of here.
I don't think there are any... nah, I can't even speak. I can't even think. That scene hurt me. What in the name of sweet music? Ah, yes. The fat shaming. It's so important to make sure the get is even worse and grosser than normal. Queen's being possessed. Not quite accurate. Time is of the essence. Yes, yes, yes. I'll say anything different yet? Giant tub of lard. Good grief. I can't let it go unsaid that in the original translation, they did not use phrases such as tub of lard. They I really don't think they spoke of the Queen's weight all that much. And not that negatively. They're sensitive. Calisthenics. Mushroom. Okay, that's really straightforward. Nothing too weird about that guy. I guess I still have Spar in the party. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. I think there's equipment for a Spar somewhere in this dungeon, so like a new and improved whip, perhaps. That could be a reason to be using them. Actually, wait. I'll go here first. Delicious ammonia. Not a lot of moondrops in the game, but there's one. Winbow is doing good work. Winbow is why I want to keep Bosch for the next dungeon. If the first one crits, the second one is guaranteed to also crit. That's the good stuff. Wait, is it? Okay. Thorn Whip is not Ivy Whip. It's an improvement. Yay. Okay, so the dungeon is going to be pretty straightforward, so let's see, what else is there to talk about? I mentioned that I played off the 2008 video game remade in 2025. I'm currently playing South Park, The Fractured But Whole, while I'm biking. And I really feel like I need to go back and play a little bit of the Stick of Truth first, or again, to have a basis of comparison. But I feel like this game is significantly worse. I feel like they Ubisofted all over the game in a way that they didn't in the previous one. And I need to go back and compare. It's just... What do I mean by them Ubisofting all over it? I mean you have the map of South Park, and you have all of these different points of interests, and you go into the houses and you scavenge anything you can find, and you're mostly gonna get scrap. That doesn't mean anything, but you still feel compelled to to go around and open every drawer and closet that you can, because that's really the only way you can interact with the world around you. And like, you're not finding anything meaningful, but still just feel compelled to scrape everything for the worthless treasure. And whatever power progression system is there, it's so strange and indirect, and it's like you're leveling up something based on how many crafting things you've found or done, or how many costumes, or how many social media friends or you've made, or how many toilets you've sat on, and it's like everything is just incrementally filling up a little meter bar, and like, it should be fun to make number go up. But what's the reward for making the numbers go up? Not really anything. It's a big abstraction between the actions that you take and whatever power that you might gain. Like, for a good while, I was doing all of these things that go towards your, what's the term? Like I didn't have any equipment or any badges, any, what do we call it? Like, that part of it all hadn't been unlocked yet, even. It's really hard to put into words, but it's just, everything you do feels unrewarding, and it needs to be hooked up to this Ubisoft Connect, and the in-game options I had for turning off Ubisoft notifications weren't powerful enough. Like, I couldn't turn off all of the notifications that I was getting. So, like, I had to close the game and get into the Ubisoft Connect launcher and then make additional notification changes there. So, inadequate settings. Also, there's like, there is a tutorial setting. Hey, do you want Towley, the Towel character, to pop up and give you game hints? Because, you know, we're making a joke about how nobody likes tutorial characters like Navi from Ocarina of Time. But you can turn him off. Except he still shows up and gives you some completely useless hints even when I had turned him off. So that's stupid. Well, I'm running out of time to say anything else about South Park. I mean, I've only played it for 2 biking sessions, so I have like 4.5 hours of time into it. Basically still on the first day, well, the first night. Not sure how many in-game days it's going to last. I expected the first game to last a week. Or like a full, or until the weekend, from Monday through Friday. But as I recall, it didn't, and I was a little surprised and a little disappointed. But if it was only 4 days, then at the pace that the sequel was going, that'll be enough for me. Alright, let's see. I'm taking Spar out of the party because Spar is going to be forced into the party soon enough. And I'm taking Deez into the party so that she gets a chance to get some experience. Should I ever want to use her? What if I don't want to use her? What if I don't care about keeping her equally level with everybody else? Do I care? Am I going to use her? When am I going to use her? I suppose she might be ideal for the final boss. Is she going to be ideal for the final boss? If you put in the work, sure. I don't want to take Jean, though. Let's go with this. I don't want Bosch to be all the way in the back. I want the twin bow to have a better chance of doing a little bit of damage. He's a little further to the front. Battle of cellulite monsters. It's not just fatty, it's specifically cellulite. And here we are in the right atrium. Hemoglutton. I suppose that's a fine name. And leukocytes are just leukocytes, like they should be, not a reucyte, as the original called them. So those enemy names are fine. Let's see if we run into any other types. So yeah, and to be 2 encounters in there. Or one there, one here, I suppose. And then the next room is here. It's Pepsin. I guess that is another accurate technical term type of name. Nothing else in the right atrium. Humana. Ooh. No, wait, still right atrium. If only losing weight were this easy. Just give somebody a mushroom and have them fight the evil cellulite in my body. I'll just have to fight it on the bike instead. Is anybody playing the new Katamari game? Once Upon a Katamari? I've been thinking about getting it. Who doesn't like a little bit of Katamari now and then? It's a little hard to justify it, since I'm supposed not to be buying new games. I should be beating my backlog. But I guess it would be the first time I played a new Katamari game. And I suppose that the Katamari Rerolled was new to me. But like I've seen people play that. And I'd played Wheel of Katamari. So the remake of that wasn't... Well, it certainly wasn't new to me either. But now, like an actual new game? Brand new? Seems like it would be a good time and something I should get into. But again, it goes against my code of ethics. I need to stick to my backlog. And if I'm gonna not stick to my backlog, I feel like either I should be going for something much more out of my comfort zone. Like if I've already played 2 games in that series. Like, it's already in my comfort zone, even though it's not an RPG. So either it would need to be more out of my comfort zone, or it would need to be something like Clair Obscur, where it's very much in my comfort zone, but I need to catch up to the surrounding conversation and see what the deal is. I'm thinking I might end up playing Clair Obscur next year. But it depends on whether it's still getting updates, or I feel like, yeah, it's probably done, and anything that gets added later doesn't matter to me. Games are so weird. I should play Metaphor ReFantasio, just on the basis that, yeah, it's not... It seems like it's actually not getting any game-changing updates, any, what you call it, it's not getting a separate definitive version that I should wait for any longer. I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe I'm a little burnt out on the Atlas games, perhaps, potentially, slightly. Because I mean, I played both Persona 2s this year. I'm sure the Metaphor would be a world of difference, but I don't know. I don't know. Just seems like a big commitment, you know? I think my current mindset is one where I would rather play 10, 30-hour games than 300-hour games, you know? And like, I will get to the 100-hour games once I'm done with all of the 30-hour games that interest me. And there's plenty of those left. The hardest part about a lot of the backlog, well, I do feel like I kind of beat the main backlog. But there are definitely other games that interest me as well that I'm kind of keeping tabs on, considering for the future. It's that there are games that I don't think are stream worthy or stream capable, that I also can't play while biking because of some aspect of them. like Shadow Hearts. I don't know that the later Shadow Hearts games are gonna be very stream worthy, because I had some technical problems when I did the first one. But also because it has that ring system where you have to time your button presses. That's hard when you're biking. That needs a different kind of concentration and coordination. And when am I gonna have the time for a game like that if I'm not streaming it and I'm not biking it? Like, I only have so many hours in the day, you know? So some games that I'm real interested in like that, they just keep getting pushed back. So I guess here's question of the day. What is the game that you have wanted to play for the longest time, but just haven't played yet? Especially if it's something that you already own or have the means of playing. For a long time, that was Tales of the Abyss for me. Probably also Xenoblade 1 should get an honorable mention. Like, we have the Wii version. And I even went and bought a new Wii Classic controller, because that's how I wanted to play it. And then I never played it until the remake, which I streamed. So those are examples of games that I had in my backlog for a decade or more. I'm not sure what the current game is that I've been waiting for the longest time. I would need to check my Steam library and receipts. When did I buy this? Like, how long ago did I buy Final Fantasy 15, which I've still yet to play? But at least with 15, like, I've done the work now of getting through all the 13 games. So 15 is next, unless I go on and play Tactics next, as far as that series is concerned. Let's keep vitalizing. Maybe I need to check my spreadsheets. It'll help me remember. One day I gotta figure out a better way of routing this. I really don't have a speedrunner mentality. Like, I can beat the game on autopilot going through the dungeons, but the way I do is always pretty much going through the same pattern always and making sure I check all the staircases and doors, even when they just lead to empty dead ends. Not many rooms left. What a just so engaging segment. Well, I could tell you about a game that I tried starting. And you might get mad at me. So, it's a game that I hadn't considered part of my backlog for a long time, and I didn't have any means of playing it for a long time. But just in the interest of experiencing a lot of the PlayStation 1 RPG library that keeps being held to high regards, I booted up Xenogears the other day, and I will not be pursuing Xenogears at this time, because Xenogears gave me the ick. That's your cue to get mad at me. Okay, so it's expected that cutscenes of that time probably don't have subtitles to the voice acting. It's expected. It's bad, but it's expected. Like, it didn't lose me right there at the start. Where it lost me was talking to the first NPCs and not being able to fast forward the dialogue or manually do anything to affect the text boxes. No text speed options in the menu. No buttons do anything when I press them. Okay, so like, look at the text speed here. This is me not pressing any buttons. And okay, that was a very short line, so you didn't see it, but unless the fan translation has changed this mechanic, you can hold down a button to speed up the text in this game. So you always feel in control of the game, like you are engaged, you participate in the progression of the story, like in this tactile way. But when you don't have that at all, and your buttons don't do anything, immediate disconnect from the game. I got the ick. That's my Xenogears story. Yeah, so if I'm holding B, yeah. Text speeds up a little bit. Dear old fish? What? What kind of line is that? Go boil your head, that's fine as an insult, but... Fish? What? Gratitude, huh? Didn't know I had any, huh? I mean, this is in line with what the other characters were saying, why she was a good demon target, that she didn't have any, like she was very selfish and all that. In the original, does the queen say anything like this? In the original, it says, Ryu, I thank you too. Thanks to all of you, I didn't turn into a demon. A bit weak from being too thin, though. So, none of this self-reflection here. I would tend to favor the characterization as provided through the words and actions of the character themselves, rather than what the people around are saying. So I feel like the selfish nature of the queen has been exaggerated by the attendant, but... But if she wasn't a little bad, then she wouldn't be transforming, right? I don't know, maybe... Yeah, this might be a case where the fan translation changing characterization is something that was needed is a strong word, but welcome. Disgusting freak. Why are we punching up the script so much here? Wow. I'm not gonna say anything. Pressure won't open. Incorrigible. Yay. Again with the double lard. Stop it. You're overusing that phrase. Promise me you'll come back. I don't remember the queen hitting on Ryu. No, the original she just says, "Come and see us again." And they have to go all the way and I don't know that I checked. Now seems. Well, it was accurate. Wait, hang on. You say that again. New chef think his name was Crawler or something. Wait. Why are we inserting the name Crawler? What is happening here? So, Crawler or something implies that she is getting the name wrong, so the name is not accurate. A name that sounds like Crawler for a frogman, for a frog chef. I can't help but think that sounds like Quadra, which was the name of the imposter who tried to take over Sema Fort. But we killed him, definitely killed him. Why are we insinuating that he has survived as a chef in Tunlin? And if that is not what we are insinuating, what is going on here then? Why are we inserting the name Crawler? What is that? Why insert the name Crawler into the script? What? I'm baffled. I'm glad I went and checked that because that is so strange. Well, speaking of strange stuff, we are just about done with stream for today, but before we go, I think it is time to have a conversation here. Yes. May I be excused for a moment? I'd like a brief word in private with this guard. What's with that look? Is there something on my face? You do have a lovely face and such a trim figure. I don't need to hear that from you. Can't you tell I'm a guy? Yes, well, a pity that. If you hadn't said that just now. I might have been tempted to steal a kiss. Oh ho ho. Are you nuts or something? What part of guy are you not getting? Ellipses. Oh. Really, being so serious all the time, it's bad for one's complexion. What? I see. Well. If you have no further business here, then I ask you to move along. Indeed. Need to return this master's flute to its proper owner. Really no need to rush, you can take care of it for a while. Pardon? I don't know, but I'd say you just now assumed I was going to hand this flute over to you. Unless my memory's faulty, which I doubt. I borrowed this flute from the Princess of Highland. You are not correct. Oh, they are really spelling it out here. You talk too much. Freudian slip things. Wow. As all this is over and done with, I'm gonna come back here and gonna tell you all about the woman I would die for. But until then... different dialogue if it's Sten talking there. Yeah, that's... So, yeah. Confirmation that Farlan is El Farlan. Royalty of Highfort. Easily missed scene, I guess. I'm gonna scrape for a little bit of dialogue or over here. See if they have anything. Just put me out of my misery. Are you serious? Well, this fan translation is way more fat-phobic than the original. In the original, she's just saying I'd be too embarrassed. I hate the changes to the characterization of Nina, in particular, more than anything. I can't deal. I can't deal. Jean, Tabitha, you got anything to say? Yes, you do look fat, but it looks good on you. Okay, and this time there's no difference in dialogue for them, whether they're in the party or not. I never actually looked at her sleeping. There it is. There it is. All right, so we now have the therapy pillow, and with the therapy pillow, we can go into the mind of the Elder Tree Gandalf. Anything else I should do before that? So our town is full. We already got HG over here. Just checking that. Okay, so everything to do with the town is taken care of. Everybody's equipment is taken care of. Our levels are pretty good. We could even them out. I could do more off-stream grinding just because it's fun, so I have something to do while I listen to music. But yeah, next time we gotta go with Spar into the Elder Tree's memory. And the question is, when's next time going to be? Because I would like to get started on Crosscode. I would like to take the time to set it up and start a playthrough of something brand new to me. Yeah. But yeah, I'm probably gonna do some off-stream grinding. Yeah, probably gonna do that. Get everybody to level 40 plus. And then whenever I'm done grinding, this is the best place, you know, to do it. If you ask me, you can just warp here, rest here. Pretty short distance to the giant monster island. And it is from here that we have the shortest distance to the Elder Tree. So this is where we're gonna end. This is where we're gonna save. This is where we're gonna be done. Yeah, let's call it here. Let's get out of here. Let's skedaddle. Alright, thank you all so much for joining me today. Hopefully next stream will be as early as tomorrow with Crosscode. It might take a while before we get back to the fan translation. I might want to read another book of Earthsea before next time. I might just want to keep this as something I can grind a little bit in every now and then when I need to catch up on music. I might just want to get done with another new game. We'll see. I'm not making this fan translation playthrough a big priority. Anyway, until next time, take care.